When I was in high school, I auditioned for the school play and I was lucky to get a part in it. I learned that I also enjoyed the technical side of theater. The more I got involved in theater, the more I wanted to learn everything about it. I enjoyed acting, being on stage, and seeing folks' reaction, as I was able to help bring a story to life with other people. I enjoyed reading my lines and discovering more about the screenwriting process. Everything from the set construction and lighting and sound to the direction, all of that was enticing for me. But above all, during those performances where you can hear and actively engage with the audience, the experience that you participate in is magic. You're making art, my friend. By the time I got to college, theater was taking up most of my life. I was rehearsing for 20 hours every week, and that was to produce 3 shows at the end of the semester. Sometimes I would be on stage for 5 minutes. Sometimes I would be on stage for longer, but to me, it was worth all of the sacrifice. I wanted to be part of something greater. I did it for the audience, that faceless partner beyond the stage light. It was worth it for the art. Then, one day, I discovered role-playing games. To me, this was the same as acting in the theater, except that not only do you also get to be the writer, but the director as well. What's more, it focused on the most dynamic part of live theater, improvisation. Everything I loved about making art in theater was right there in role-playing games, without any boundaries. The best part about it is that there was no cost. It only required participants. The satisfaction that I got out of thrilling an audience, moving an audience with my performance, I didn't have to sacrifice so much time for that anymore. No, quite literally, it was an art I could engage in anytime, anywhere, with anyone interested in participating. There is no accounting for budgets or outside interests. You don't have to account for sound design or lighting sources, or cast a large group of people to play the extras. No, all you needed was your own creativity and an engaged imagination. That sounds like a lame cop-out, and maybe a little sentimental, but anyone that's worked in a haunted house or an escape room can attest to the power of group imagination when just a few people buy into the narrative. When you have a group of people that want to believe in the fantasy, like in a movie theater, for example, it becomes real very quick. I discovered that I'm quite good at this, participating in role-playing games. There were a lot of logistics involved to engage that part of my brain that enjoyed set design and engineering the technical aspects. Also, there was a lot of creation of making these characters, of inhabiting these characters, and developing them over time. Of course, there was also the acting of bringing these characters to life and sharing them with my friends. Sometimes I got to be lots of different personas in one sitting. What's more, without the costs and boundaries that come with other forms of storytelling, we can harness the power of our own creative descriptions and imaginations to produce any narrative we can come up with. We can experiment and take risks and produce something novel, something intimate, something expansive, something real. To me, role-playing games are the perfect storytelling media, because your only restrictions are the abilities you use to tell stories and your audience's engagement with them. Both the audience and the participant becomes intertwined in real time, so that the story can become as dynamic as you desire. The most hauntingly beautiful aspect of this art is that it will always disappear. It will always fade away. With some exceptions, the stories you create will only have an audience of your small group of friends, and it will only exist in the hours that you're sitting down and playing. Then, it will exist later when you regale the stories of your adventures. And then it will only exist when your friends bring it up years later, or when you bump into one another during Thanksgiving adjacencies. And then it's gone. Part of its beauty is that it won't last. What role-playing games allows you to do is to create something personal, something of your own to share with a group of like-minded friends. You get the privilege of learning more about them and the stories that they want to tell. Your characters may die, and they will certainly meet failure more than a few times. The twists will be unexpected, and the trials hard-fought. You come together, save the world, and then it ends. You've shared in something temporary and beautiful. This was for you and for your friends. As a storyteller, it is your privilege to give this gift to your friends. So let's get started.